So to understand the necessity of the levy of taxation in any economy, one should understand the legal background of such levy. For instance, in the federalism, it is the federalism, the system itself, which leads to the levy of different taxes in any federal democratic country like ours, Ethiopia. So what is federalism? It's where the government's functions are divided between sets of authorities. So this is you are very familiar with this. A federation is an association of two or more states, and the member states of a federation have the union government for the whole country, and there are state government for the part of the country. So in this sense, a federation is a form of government in which the political power is divided between the central government and state government. So we can define federalism in such a way. Constitution say about this. The overall ideas are shaped in the Constitution. So in a democracy, the people have the ultimate power over the government because they elect the leaders. Second, no government official is above the law. And this detail of definition, you can find it in your own materials. So in our case, there are three branches of government. The first branch is called the House of People's Representative, and this body makes laws. The House of People Representative, or HPR, also decides how the government will collect and spend the money. The second is the executive branch, and this body runs the country and makes sure the laws are followed. For instance, the Prime Minister is elected by all the people heads up in this branch. Third is the judiciary branch. In this branch, judges and courts are included, and so they settles. This branch settles disputes, also decides how laws apply in real life, and things like this. Now, let's go to the finance. What is a federal finance? A federal finance refers to the system of assigning the source of revenue to the central as well as state government for the efficient discharge of their respective functions. So a few principles for federal finance. In the case of federal system of finance, following principle must be applied. The first one is the principle of independence. That is to mean that the government should be autonomous and free about the internal financial matters concerned. The second is principle of equity. Equity, we talked about this very much. It means the resources should be distributed among the different states so that each state receives a fair share of revenue. Okay, about fairness. Third is principle of uniformity. So it means that each state should pay equal tax payments for federal finance. However, this principle cannot be followed in practice, because the taxable capacity of each unit is not of the same. So, first principle is the principle of adequacy of resource. This is to mean that the resource of each government, central and state, should be adequate to sort of help them carry out their functions effectively. Fifth principle is a principle of fiscal access, which means there should be possibility for both central and state government to develop a new source of revenue within their prescribed fields to meet the growing financial needs of their state or the government. There is the principle of integration and coordination, and this helps us to focus on the idea that proper care should be made to sort of create a perfect coordination among different layers of the financial system of the country. Then only in such a way the federal system can prosper. Another important principle is of that of efficiency, which tells us that the financial system should be well organized and efficiently administered, and there should be no scope for evasion and fraud, and also double taxation should be avoided. So all these things are covered under the principle of efficiency. Also, principle of administrative economy is very important, as it helps us to also give attention to the important criteria of economy, or performing our duty or administrative duty in not too expensive way, or considering the cost of collection of taxes and how to administer our tax by minimizing the cost is covered under this principle. This principle of accountability. In a federal setup, the governments, both central and states, enjoy financial autonomy, of course. Thus, in such a system, each government should be accountable to its own legislature for its financial decisions. Now let us look at to modes of allocation of revenue resources in federal government. So in the federal government, allocation of financial resources between the center and the state is of a great importance. While allocating the resources, the principle of uniformity, adequacy, autonomy, transparency in administrative economy, and federal control are to be followed. So these principles are not, of course, exclusive, they are interdependent. There are two types of allocations. The first one is independent system, and the second is mixed system. Under independent system, the units in a federation are deriving their revenue from absolutely different resources. So it means there would be no concurrence or contact between the central and state government. However, in mixed system, there would be concurrence and contact between the central and the state government. So these are the two modes of allocation. So you can read from your material at home the details of all these listed things. So I am not gonna spend a lot of time discussing them here on our YouTube channel, because you can easily read at home and remember them by heart, and also try to understand the system of taxation in our country by yourself.